Welcome to another edition of Driving Perilously, the show in which we turn on the radio and talk about what it is that we find. What we're finding is deflatables. So these people set up inflatable Grinches and Santas and snowmen and white puppies holding candy canes and polar bears, and I haven't seen any inflatable Jesuses. I've seen other representations of Jesus, but not inflatable ones so far. And in the morning, the deflatables are just sitting all over their lawn. So sad. And I don't know what's sadder. 5 or 6 puddles of plastic deflatables, or 5 or 6 puddles of plastic deflatables next to other types of Christmas ornaments that haven't deflated. So here we are, Summit again, sunny South Florida, perfect weather last couple days. I was just thinking about people who want all the answers. People who won't believe in something because it doesn't make complete sense to them. And I'm thinking, well, what aspect of life does make complete sense to them? Do they believe in nothing? Or are they just being a child? Yesterday I was thinking about the fact that when most of us were 2 years old, we wanted everything that we saw at eye level in the grocery store or any store. And so when stores figured that out, they could put things at children's eye level that adults might actually buy for their children. But the fact remains that most of us, at least at 2 or 3 or 4 years old, well, most of us wanted whatever we saw. And have we changed? Of course we've changed somewhat. We see different things. We go in different stores. We want things that aren't purchasable. But we're wanting what we see, as opposed to what we've thought about, or as opposed to what we've discovered has helped other people in similar situations, or haven't really thought about it. I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Is there anybody putting things at eye level in order to sell them to us? There's a lot of talk about commercials. When I was in high school, there was the talk about subliminal messages in music and in commercials. And then, of course, there's the more obvious and probably more useful practice of giving people what it is that they're looking for, or getting them to do a little something so that they will go further and give you back what you want. I'm reminded of somebody who was entering the dating pool, and the guy asked for a little money. No, a chunk. He asked for a chunk of money. And she looked in one of her accounts to see how much money she had. But before that, she had paid for his dinner, paid for some entrance fee to something or other. And it hit me, which would have been completely obvious to other people. He's not the smartest crook. You ask for $20, you pay the $20 back, and you take him out to lunch to thank him for the $20. You ask for $100, you pay the $100 back, you take him out to dinner to thank him for the $100. You ask for $1,500, you pay him $1,800 back. Then, I think you know where I'm going. So what we've got is the idea that is always been there in human history, that the important people are not really important. The important people are seen as important. So yes, they have importance and significance. And they're getting what they want. They, it's so easy to talk about they are getting what they want by pretending and accepting that importance and promulgating that importance. And with the United States and other places, there was the conscious decision to not have a royalty. So there was something called a meritocracy, meaning hopefully maybe the people that work the hardest will get the most return for their work. Well, it's not even that specific, but if someone works and if someone's in the right place and if someone tries and if someone has the right connections, they can become important in our society. But there have always been people who were not royalty who've become in those inner circles and groups. So I'm thinking about sovereignty over our own selves. I was watching a video by Florida Maki. I'm not familiar with that word. It's not marquee. It's not the word that's some kind of royal title. It's Maki, M-A-Q-U-I-S. I haven't Googled it. But Florida Maki said today, I think the video was posted today. I saw the video today. That the vaccine mandate has been lifted for the armed forces. And that recruitment has been down 23%, and that so many thousands of people, he gave statistics that I don't remember, have been dismissed from the armed forces because of not taking a vaccine, and probably some people haven't re-upped because of that, because it's so many people. So chances are there are people who it's time to re-up and they've not because of that. And there's legislation, or they're proposing legislation, working on it to reinstate the people that have been dismissed because they haven't been vaccinated, and to pay them back pay. Does anybody know if any of that's true? It sounds untrue. And this guy likes to talk about Antarctica and stuff. And I personally don't know how much he knows about Antarctica, but I think he says more about Antarctica than he knows, personally speaking. Of course, you're allowed to say things you don't know. You're allowed to speculate, you're allowed to draw the lines that connect the dots, and you're allowed to make up your own dots and throw that in there too. If you have enough truth, somebody's going to listen to you. But as we all know, we can have a lot of lies mixed in with our truth. So I'm thinking about the people who are presented with a belief system and they reject the belief system. Instead of taking the parts of the belief system that they know are true and saying, I don't know about the rest of it. I mean, I don't know anything about Antarctica, right? So why am I going to tell him that he's wrong? Of course, he does say some things that I'm pretty sure are wrong. But anyway, Florida Maki, Maquis. So the same people that reject an entire belief system because they don't understand some of the details. Some of them are people who believe, or say they believe, and I don't know how they would actually believe this, say they believe that before being born, their soul decided to be born, and then they get inconsistent. Some say that they chose their parents. So we've got people who don't even choose a job that they like, but they think they chose their parents. Okay, that's a thing. There's a lot of people like that. And then some say that they chose who they would be in this life, which I assume would have to include who their parents were. And some people say that they have chosen before birth where they're going to live, whether to come back or not. Now, I don't know where this belief comes from. It's not a logical extrapolation of the idea of karma. It's not. It's the most self-centered thing I've ever heard. Well, no, it's not. Because there's a belief system that one day I'm going to rule a planet with a lot of wives. So that might be the most self-centered. Alright, so this was an episode of Driving Perilously, the show in which we turn on the radio and talk about what it is that we find. This is a sunny Christmas season. Hope everybody's enjoying the season. We will be back with some additional Christmas music probably very soon. The continuing update on the most popular song that's being played, I still think it is Carol of the Bells, but without counting statistics, without recording statistics of what I'm listening to, it could be Sleigh Ride. They've been playing the Motownish version of Sleigh Ride, Grand Sleigh Ride, orchestral, instrumental Sleigh Ride, and others. Karen Carpenter, a couple more. So I think Sleigh Ride and Carol the Bells are close. But, I just heard both of them yesterday. So we'll see who wins the prize. And that is it for this episode